it's Stana here, and welcome to this Yoga for Transformation flow. We are going to build our way up to one of my favourite shapes, crow pose, where we'll be asking ourselves to step into faith over fear, to balance our way up on two hands. So the word transformation means to, in my loose interpretation, to reshape, to reform. And I think not only does this help us on the mat, but it helps us off the mat with old thoughts, ideas, beliefs, where we can reshape them and step into the magic of transformation. So you don't need anything for this practice. If you have one or two blocks, that might be helpful. If you don't have blocks, you can sub them out for like books, or anything that's sort of like a similar shape or height where you can pop your hands on, or potentially feet towards the practice, into the practice. So we're going to start laying on our back. And we're just going to start with a couple of nice deep breaths. So have your feet flat on the floor. You can take the feet a little wider and let the knees kiss together. Hands resting on your belly. Shoulders melting down, and just begin to soften into the mat. Start to take a couple of nice deep full breaths in and out. Letting yourself ground into the present moment. And letting yourself arrive from whatever your day has brought you, or wherever your day has brought you. And then think about the magic of transformation. And the crow symbolizes in some cultures the ending of one phase and the beginning of another. So with that in mind, think about if there's something that is calling to come to an end. It could be an old belief that you know doesn't serve you anymore. It could be a person, a situation, something bigger. And just know that you have the support that you need within you, as well as from those around you. But most importantly, you have support within you that you can tap into at any time. And today our practice is about bringing out that inner support and realizing that you've got your own back at all times. So if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, now's a wonderful time to do so. And whatever you settle on, let it fill you up with the next breath of air. And let it go. Good. Walk the feet in line with the hip points, knees straight up. Open your eyes. Hug the knees into your chest. And take the hands to the around the outsides of the legs into the insides of your calf muscles, and just start to open up the hips. So you can rock a little side to side. Just let the feet hang loose, just gently opening up the legs. Now you can stay here, or you might take the feet, maybe clasping the hands, sort of like a laying down butterfly with the legs up in the air. Letting the feet come together, maybe holding the ankles. Good, now you can stay here or come into Happy Baby. So for Happy Baby, kick the feet up to the sky. You can have the hands around the thighs, drawing the knees down towards the armpits, the outer armpits, maybe around the outer shins, or taking hold of the outer edges of the feet and pulling the legs down. As you do so, see if you can hug the knees in towards the armpit chests, or you press the feet up. So you can, if it's more comfortable, you can have the hands on the inside, but Personally, I like the outside. So there's this pulling, pushing, and then see what you need to do to bring your sacrum, the bottom part of your spine, down towards the floor to bring back your natural lower back curve. Good. Take another breath here. And as you let go, leave the legs, but release the hands. Give them a little shake out of your knee. A little forearm rest. Okay, so we're going to keep this sensation of the legs coming down, flex the feet, and I want you to imagine that you're pulling the legs like you've got hands pulling the legs down, okay? Now, reach your arms up and flex your hands, so it's as if you're pressing your hands into the ceiling above you. Alright, so this is our crow pose, but on our back, almost. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of little crunches, getting started. So inhale, exhale, lift your head, neck and shoulders up and press your arms away so you round your upper back. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift, navel down, inhale to lower, exhale, up you go. Keep the elbows drawing in and up and the knees drawing down towards the armpits. Good. We'll do 3 more. 2. Hold the last one up. Press the hands up. Draw the knees down for 3, 2. On the 1, release, hug the knees in. Ooh. Give your feet a little point and flex, circles. Maybe circle the wrists. Alright, hands come behind the thighs and we're going to roll up to sitting. So from here, take the hands behind the thighs. Knees can come together or a little bit further apart. And you're going to simply stay here and begin to test your balance by rolling to the back of your sit bones. And maybe keeping the toes light on the floor or lifting them up. You can stay here or extend one leg up and then the other. Coming into boat pose, Navasana. Or you can reach the arms out in front of you. Good, so think long through the spine. Hug the legs together. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, take the arms over and the upper body over to the right. Inhale, lift up through center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, over. 1 more each side. Last one. Good. Cross the ankles, lower the feet, and roll through onto all fours. So we're going to really start with our wrist and upper back warm up, which is really important. So for all of our work on our hands, I'm just going to do a nice sit up first. So taking the time to set up the hands is really important. So I want you to spread your fingers wide. Yeah, the center of your wrists come right underneath the shoulders. You spread the fingers wide. And you're going to claw the fingertips. Yeah, like pretty much like you're doing kitty cat claws. Yeah? So you claw through the fingertips like you've got spider fingers. The middle knuckles will lift and rise. And then I want you to press down through the knuckles that end at the palm of your hand towards your fingers. Okay, so the first knuckles. So you anchor down there. Clawing the fingertips into the mat is really going to help with any wrist pain, especially when we ask ourselves to balance on 2 hands. So that's really important. So claw through the fingertips even here. And here we go, cat and cow. So inhale, scoop the belly down. Chest rolls forward. Gaze follows. And as you exhale, start from the tailbone and round through the spine. Claw into the fingertips, press away from the mat, chin to chest. Inhale to lower the belly, roll the chest forward. And exhale, round through. Inhale through the front gates. Exhale, navel up, upper back round so much. Do 1 more. Good, come we back in the middle, somewhere neutral. We're going to set up for our bird dog. So reach the left leg back, the right arm forward, turn the palm face inwards, and then lift the arm and the leg up, just in line with the hips and the shoulders. So dial the left toes down, navel in, breath in. Exhale, bring your knee towards your elbow, round your upper back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach away. Exhale in. Inhale to reach, and then exhale to lower the hand and the knee back to the floor. Little wiggle of the hips side to side. Here we go, other side. So reach the right toes back, left arm forward, palm faces in. Lift up with the right leg, the left arm. Breathe in. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. One more. Inhale to reach away, and then exhale, lower down. So for this, I'm just going to turn to face you so that you can see what's happening in the wrist. We're going to start with our wrist warm up. So just come off the fingers, off the hands, come to sit back on the heels. Just going to start making some circles, one way with the wrists, and then the other. Turn the one set of fingers down. And think about spreading your thumb and your pinky finger further away from each other. Take a deep breath in. And then switch it over. So other hand reaches down. Thumb and pinky finger reaching away. And then we're going to flip the switch. So turn the fingers to face towards you. And you can gently apply a little bit of guidance on the fingertips. Not too much, just starting to get a little stretch through the front of the forearm. And then release the other side. Good. Alright, now we're going to come on to all fours. So same thing as before. Spread the fingers wide. We're going to start to rock forward and back, just a little bit in front of the shoulders. The shoulders go in front of the wrists, and then back, and front, and back. So claw through the fingertips. Good. Have your core engaged, so navel in and up. One more here. Pause, sit back a little bit, and we're going to turn the hands all the way around. So start by taking the right fingertips around, out to the side and back. And then follow with the left hand. Now if your hands only come a little bit, not the full way around, that's totally fine. So even here, spread the fingers, claw into the fingertips, and begin to shift your pelvis back and forward. A little back and a little forward. So keep pressure through the fingertips. Good. Stretching through all the muscles, the tendons at the front. One more here. Good, now slowly release one set of fingers forward and then the other. Turn to face you so you can see this one. This time turn the hands out to the side. And we're going to simply roll side to side. So you can bring the fingers, the heels, the palms of your hands as close together as is possible. So you can have them right close together, peeling up the hands, maybe coming towards the first knuckle, the second knuckle, and then lifting up towards the fingertips. Good. Alright, then slowly sit back on the heels, release the hands, and we're going to come into one other stretch. So we'll start with the right hand. So turn the right hand to face up on the floor, so the back of your hand's on the floor. Spread the fingers wide, and then you're going to take your left hand, and the heel of your hand is going to fit right in the groove in the palm of your hand. Now press the left hand down into the right hand. It's as if you're trying to pull the right hand out from underneath the left, okay? So lower down your right forearm. As you bring it up, spiral the bicep forward, the elbow crease forward. Okay, so then I go back to normal, elbow goes out, lowers, and then spirals and turns into face forward. Lowering down, lifting and spiraling. 2 more. Last one. Alright, other side, so release. Left hand down, right hand over top. Lower down, and then spiral forward. Lower down, spiral forward, lower down, spiral forward. 2 more. Good, now release the hands. Tuck the toes under, yeah? And come to sit back above the heels, so not on the heels. And make a tight little ball with your hands. I'm going to flick open and close as fast as you can. So this is really warming up through the forearms. So something that's really important is when we're asking our wrists to take a lot of our weight, we really need to take the time to warm up the wrists. Yeah, and it's really important because the wrists are a delicate structure. If the toes get too much, just untuck them. And so we want to recruit the muscles of the forearms. So this here is waking up all the muscles of the forearms. Go a little faster, you got it? And it's really helping to wake them up. Starts to get a little uncoordinated, I know. We're here for 3, for 2, and 1. Shake the hands out. Good job. All right, we're going to come to the top of the mat now. So stand on up, come to the top of the mat, and take your feet a little wider, toes facing outwards. Just gonna grab a little break. Okay, so standing up nice and tall. Feel like your pubic bone is reaching towards the heart a little, so there's this containment, this lift up the front, and a grounding through the back. All right, so inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms up. And exhale, let the hands float back down. Again, bend the knees, reach the arms up. And exhale, float the fingertips down. 1 more, breathe in. And out. This time, inhale to rise. Exhale, bring the palms together and then sit down and back into an active squat. So you can lean into the heels a little more, adjust the feet so that they are right in line with the knees, the second toes are all lined up safely, nicely. Squeeze the legs together. Good. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the hands down in between the legs. Step both feet back and lift your pelvis up. Downward dog. Pedal the feet out. We'll take a couple of breaths here. So spread the fingers wide. Claw into the fingertips. Alright, here we go. Shift your weight to your left leg and glide the right leg up behind you. Bend your right knee, shift forward, knee towards your nose, and then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Good, lower the back knee, and we settle in for our dragon. So if you have blocks or props of any kind that you can use, you can bring them right onto the hands. So turn the right toes out a little. If there was a clock, it would be facing like 2 o'clock, maybe 1:30. Start to make a couple of little circles one way in the hip joint and then the other. Finding what feels good, opening up the hips nice and gently. And then shift your weight to your left hand. Get light on the right fingertips and take your right hand to the inside of your right leg. All right, flex the right toes so they come off the mat. Keep that as you press gently the right leg away. Roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. And then come guide the leg back to center. So guiding the leg out and in, just nice and softly. Keep your belly engaged the whole time. Nice. Bring the right hand back to the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale. Exhale, curl your chin towards your chest. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, curl. One more. Get light on the right fingertips again, ground down through the left fingertips, and then swim the right arm forward, up and back. Get a nice twist. So really spiral your heart up. One more breath. And then swim the arm up and over. I'm going to make our way back to down dog. So tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step the right foot back. Enjoy your breath here. Good. Slide the left leg up behind you. As you exhale, knee to nose, and then step your foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower the back knee. So turn your left toes out a little. This time maybe facing towards 11 o'clock. And make little circles one way. And then the other. Good. Now when you're ready, shift your weight to your right hand this time. Left hand to the inside of your left leg. And begin to gently open up the left leg while flexing your left toes. Bring the foot back. Opening up. Guiding back in. One more. Good. Release the left hand back. Inhale, slide the nose forward. Exhale, round chin towards your chest. Press away from the mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. One more. Good. Unravel, right hand firms down, and then swim the left arm forward, up and back. Dial the right ribs under and up. Take another breath in, and then exhale, swim the hands back. From here, we make our way back to downward dog. So tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then step the left leg back. Take a breath in, and a long breath out. Good, pedal the feet out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, and then step or hop to the top of your space. Use an inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, rise to the top. And exhale, hands to heart. Alright. On an inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, bring the palms together and float all the way down to a forward fold. Use an inhale to wave the spine up halfway. And exhale, melt down. Plant the hands, step the feet back, plank pose. So knees can be lifted or lowered, wherever you choose, but spread the fingers wide, claw into the fingertips. Good. Hug the outer forearms together. You've got it. Take your gaze forward. Inhale, shift your body forward. Bend the elbows, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes. Use an inhale to find a back bend, a heart opener, and exhale to lower. Inhale, press up to plank on the knees or on the toes, and then make your way back to downward dog. Good. Slide your right leg up behind you with a breath in. Exhale, bring your knee towards your right tricep, your right elbow. Good. Inhale, back. This time opposite, so right knee towards the left tricep. Exhale. Inhale, back through, up, and then exhale, knee towards your nose. Good, then step the foot in between the hands. Keep the back knee lifted, so really lift up onto the ball of your foot. And then when you're ready, rise up. High lunge. Feel free to have a soft bend in the back knee, so you can really get the pelvis underneath you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, little baby pulse down. Inhale, straighten the back leg, lift up. Exhale, down. So straightening both legs and lowering, lifting high, squeezing the glutes. Good, 2 more. Last one. Woo. All right, lift up to your high lunge. All right. So bring the arms down at your sides. And then when you're ready, maybe at the hips, you're going to have a buoyancy in the back leg. We're going to step the back leg up and curl it around the standing leg. Eagle pose. So step forward, balance on the right leg. Hug the left leg around, maybe the ankle wraps around. Maybe not. Reach the arms forward and take the left arm underneath the right, wrapping the forearms and the palms together. Sit down. Notice if you fall, you can catch yourself. Yeah, lean into your inner support. Sink low, ground down through the inner edge of your standing leg. You got it. Navel in, lift your elbows up. Exhale, palms go a little bit away from the face. Through your upper back, opening like a turtle back. Good, take another breath in. Exhale, unravel the arms, take them back to the hips. Unravel the leg and step your left leg back just about halfway. Straighten both legs. Turn your left toes about 45 degrees. If it's more comfortable to have it a little more forward with the heel lifted, do that. Coming into pyramid. So, with this, you want to feel like the back leg, inner thigh is rolling back, while the front leg, the outer hips, dialing back. Good, so soften in the knee, but engage the quad. Navel in, lift up your heart. Exhale, begin to fold forward, pausing halfway. So here with the hands on the hips, feel free to widen your stance. Give yourself lots of space. Feel like the right hip's dialing back and the left hip's dialing forward. Good. So keeping as much evenness through the back of the pelvis as possible. Stay here or maybe reach the hands down towards the floor. If you have blocks, this is an amazing time to use them, or any other props. Maybe keeping your neck nice and long, or lowering your chin towards your chest. Rounding through. Just 2 more breaths here. Good, keep toning the front quad while pulling the leg back. Last breath. Good. Begin to soften through both legs so you can plant the hands down. Step your left leg back, low lunge. Inhale, lengthen, lift your heart forward. Plant the hands, step the right toes back, shift forward, and then bend your elbows lower all the way down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, loop your shoulders onto your back, lift up your heart. Lower down. Tuck the toes, transition through all fours, or the top of your plank. And then make your way back to downward dog. Take a breath and let it go. Left side. Float your left leg up behind you. Use an exhale, left knee to left tricep. Shift forward. Inhale, float the leg back. Opposite side. Left knee to right tricep. Back and up. Through the center, knee to nose. And then step the foot in between the hands. Keep the back knee lifted. Come up onto the toes, so lift onto the balls of the feet. Yeah, from here, see if you can spiral the right hip forward, the left hip back. And then rise up. Feel free to soften the back leg a little. Inhale to rise. Exhale, bend the knees. Lifting up. Lowering down. Good. So toning through the quads. Two more. Good. Hands to the hips. Springing our way forward to crow. So get buoyant legs, and you're going to wrap the right leg around the left. So bring yourself up, balance on the left leg. Wrap the right leg around. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. So imagine you're leaning back in the chair. Reach the arms forward. Right arm under left. Wrap the hands around. And settle in. Inner strength. You got this. Full breaths in, sink low. Lift your elbows up. And then reach the hands away. Navel in. One more breath. Unravel the arms back to your hip points. Unravel the legs and step the right leg back just about halfway. So remember here, the toes can face about a 45-degree angle, or they can come forward a little more. It just depends on the front of your ankle, on your shin, and how that opens up. So, guiding the back inner thigh, back and around. So it's like the outer hip comes forward, and then the outer hip on the left leg or the front leg comes back. Lift your heart up. And then as you exhale, begin to have a soft bend in the left leg, but engage the quad and pause halfway down in your pyramid. Tone through the back leg. Stay here or begin to lower your hands to your blocks or the floor and breathe. So the crow pose is linked to our third eye, our intuition, inner vision. So where do you see your inner vision going? Where's the transformation going to happen? Where will it take place? What does it look like? Take 2 more breaths. Then bend both legs so you can bring the hands to the floor. Swivel the right leg back, and then step your left leg back, plank pose. Good. So come to roll onto the outer edge of the left toes, the inner edge, so your toes face to the right, side plank, left arm down, and open up the right arm. So lift the hips up, press your left hand down and away, create the arc, navel in. One more breath here. Exhale, lower the right hand down, hand shift to the other side. So toes to the left, heels to the right. Reach the arms up. Press your right hand down and away. Tone through the legs. Spiral your heart up. One more breath. Exhale to lower. Go to lower to the knees. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Take some nice full breaths in and out. Good, and come forward onto all fours. I'm just going to grab a quick drink, so feel free to grab one. Okay, so from here, we're going to come back into the eagle arms. So I'll face the front so that you can see. So reach the arms forward. Take your right arm under the left, wrap the arms around, and now I'll face the back, the side. And then I really want you to round through the upper back, so we're going to open up even more. Good. Think about from here, as if you've got a ball at your belly button, you're going to round over a little bit. Okay? So think about this turtle shell shape, really spreading your backbones, your shoulder blades. Come back up, unravel the arms, open them out, and then we switch sides. So the opposite arm comes underneath. So it'll be the right arm under, I think. I've forgotten that. you'll know. Lift the arms up. And hands go away a little bit, and then we begin to round. I think that might be the same that I've already done. Yeah, I think so. Good. Keep magnetizing the forearms together, the palms together while you spread your upper back. Curling forward. Opening the back body. Unravel the arms. Okay. So now we come into almost at our peak pose. So come back up onto the feet. Take the feet, I'll face you. Take the feet a little wider than your hip. Toes facing outwards. Bring the palms together. Bend the knees and begin to sit down and back. Now if the heels lift, like mine, that is a-okay. You can bring the feet a little closer together if that's more comfortable. But you want to feel like you can sit back, sort of letting your pelvis come underneath you while you lift up the front body. Press the elbows into your inner thighs, the inner knees, and then press your knees, your thighs, your legs into the elbows. So you find this opposition. Good. So lift the heart up, navel in, lower ribs hug together. Opening up, you can swivel a little side to side if that feels really comfortable. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. Stay nice and still. Press into your hands. You've got it. 3, 2, 1. Release the hands. And then come to sit back on the heels. So with our crow pose practice, we're here now. We're going to have a bit of time for playtime. There's a few different ways that you can make your way into crow pose. We'll start with a couple of different options. So it could be nice to have something more forward, maybe if you've got a block or something that your head might rest on. If you are really thinking, I can't do this, I'm going to fall, because let's face it, like crow pose, you're this far away from the ground, maybe, you might be closer, and the fear of falling on our face is very real. So having something to sort of rest the forehead on can be really helpful. So you want this to be forward enough that you can reach for it and not too close. The hands spread wide like the crow's feet do. Claw into the fingertips, just like we've been doing this whole time. Next, bring the toes together, tuck them under, and you're going to lift up, coming up onto the feet. Okay, come up onto the toes, bend the knees out, and we come into this froggy shape. So froggy is also an amazing place to start. So here, if this is where you want to be practicing, maybe lifting the hips up, bringing the heels together, and then lowering, that's wonderful. If you want to play around, claw into the fingertips, just like we've been doing, press into the mat so you create that rounding in the upper back already. Navel in is really important. So lift up, walk the feet a little closer so that the the knees can come towards the armpit chest. Okay? So snuggle them in, look at your block, maybe lift one toe off, and then maybe the other, bringing the forehead to the block, lowering down. So that's one way you can rest the forehead on the block. Another, if you've got really tight hamstrings and hips, is to place your feet on a block or a prop, a book, anything, a stool, I don't know what you've got at home. So the feet come together, the toes spread, the fingers spread, lift up, gaze goes forward. So I'm looking towards the front of my mat and my direction is going that way, yeah? If I go here, I'm just gonna fall. But if I can get that forward momentum, that's where the real magic is gonna happen. Okay, so elbows hug in, shifting forward, lifting one off, then the other, puffing my upper back up, and then landing down softly. Now, you can stay there, or probably try with no props at all. So toes together, knees wide, thinking forward always and lifting up. Alright, spread the fingers, lift up, begin to shift forward. When you're ready, lift the hips up high, find something to gaze at, lift one toe, then the other. Good, navel in, landing down softly whenever you like. You can play as much as you like here. You can stay for long, you can hold it just for a couple of seconds and then lower down. The key is to keep hugging everything in. The smaller you can make your ball, the easier it's going to be, and I mean ball sideways, yeah? The leaning forward, the hips lifting is really what's going to help you. Good, play as long as you like. When you're ready, we'll find child's pose. With the palms together and the hands up overhead. So keep playing for as long as you wish. Release the hands. Come up onto all fours, and we're going to shift forward into pigeon. So start with the right knee coming forward, let the right foot come to the left side of the mat, and begin to walk the hips back a little. Take a deep breath up at the top, and then slowly maybe walking down onto the forearms. Letting the hips wiggle a little side to side if that feels good and comfortable. Take another deep breath in. Bring your hands right underneath you, and then slide the right leg back, and the other side, so left knee forward, left foot comes across, set the hips back, sit up tall for the breath in, and now then slowly stay here or walk the hands down. When we're faced with a challenge, whether it's a challenging pose or a challenging situation like crow, or just anything in your life, you know, general challenging situations, we are put in a position to choose what we want to lean into, fear or faith or courage. And you know, when we choose to balance on two hands and we feel the support from within, we cast a spell on our old beliefs, our old patterns, our old thoughts, and we transform them. And when you do that off the mat, you do the same thing. You transform old habits, old ways of thinking into new ways. You start to declare what you're here for. The hands underneath you, sit on the outer left hip to swing the back leg around. And come to lay on your back. So you declare what is your energetic minimum. You declare what is acceptable for you. When you choose. Alright, so bring the feet to the floor, hands right down beside you. I'm going to come up into a bridge and open up the hip flexors. So start to roll your pelvis forward and lift up the hip points. Lifting up tall and then lowering down slowly. We'll do that again. So roll the pelvis away and then roll it on up. Stay at the top. Press into the heels, drag them back towards your pelvis, and then send your sitting bones towards the backs of your knees. Interlace the fingers underneath you, walk the shoulders in towards each other. And we lift up and open the front body. Think about lifting your chest towards your chin, and then your chin to the sky. Again, chest to chin, chin to sky. One more breath here. Exhale, release the hands. Take them up overhead and all the way down. Interlace the hands behind the head. Walk the feet a little wider. And then let both of your knees fall to the right. So let the feet come wider here so that you feel an opening through the front of the left hip crease. So you can always take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee, just above the left knee. And then stay here or shimmy your upper body a little towards the upper right corner. So this is like a banana / windshield wiper mash up here. Just extending the opening through the front of the left body. Enjoy one more breath in. Exhale, walk the upper body back, walk the knees back to center, feet are wide and let them drift over to the left this time, getting the opening through the front of the right hip. Stay here across the left ankle above the right knee, and maybe shimmy the upper body a little more to the upper left corner of your mat. Take another breath in, and exhale to release. Extend your right leg out and hug the left leg in. Take your right hand to the outer left leg, left arm reaches out to the side, and cross your left leg over. Nice twist. Take nice full breaths in here, letting everything unravel. One more breath. And slide back to center and we switch it over. So the right leg hugs in, left leg out long, left arm grabs the outer left leg, outer right leg as you roll over and twist. Let yourself just melt into your mat. Letting the magic of what you stirred up inside of you, let the magic unfold on its own. One more breath. Slowly guide the legs back to center. And feel free to take any final movements before you let one leg lengthen out, then the other. The arms rest at your sides with the palms facing up, and let yourself settle into Shavasana. Taking a couple of nice full breaths in and out, letting yourself settle your whole back body into the floor. Letting the sensation of heaviness take over, like you're giving yourself up to gravity. Theodore Roosevelt said that it's not the critic who counts, it's the person who's the man who's in the arena, whose face is marred with blood and dust and sweat and tears. It's the person who strives valiantly to keep going and knows that at the end, that even if he fails, he does so daring greatly. And that's what courage is all about. Daring greatly. Putting ourselves out there and choosing what we're here for. Now stay here as long as you wish. Feel free to pause the video. Begin to wake up your body, wiggle your fingers and your toes. All the hands, the ankles, reach the arms up overhead. Pat the eyelashes open. Bring the feet to the floor and roll to one side. And then press into your top hand to come up to a comfortable seat. And rest the hands into one another and right at your heart center. And take this moment to thank yourself for showing up. It's not always easy, especially in a practice where you're putting yourself out there in every possible way. So know that this practice is here for you anytime you need, just like your inner strength, that inner support that you have. It's always there. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.